Laughing Coyote is, I think more than anything else, an idea and kind of a hope. My wife and I started Laughing Coyote almost 15 years ago with this idea of how do we interact with the natural world. And so on the surface, it's a program where we teach primitive skills to youth, teens, and adults. But there's a lot of deeper concepts and ideas that we use these primitive skills to access deeper connection to landscape. But at the core, I'm a head instructor, so I get to develop curriculum, I get to run around all day playing capture the flag. I often describe my job as I'm a professional capture the flag player. After high school, I was like many other young people trying to figure out what to do next. And so I spent a lot of time traveling, and what I kept coming back to was this desire to be an educator. I loved working with youth. At the tail end of my high school years, I worked as a tutor, and I started running my own day camps. And that was something that I became very passionate about. And so, honestly, there's just a moment when I needed a job, and I like creative endeavors. I like to leap and then look. You know, I don't really always think things through fully before I just jump into new ideas. My plan had been to start a school, but to wait like 10 years after I had a lot of experience. But then I was at this point, we had a small group of students, and we just went for it. And honestly, in the beginning, we didn't entirely know what it was we were even teaching. We were running around outside, we were looking at tree bark, we were trying to figure out what tracks were in ditches. And then it was through the act of teaching and trying to get deeper into the skills that we were excited about teaching that we uncovered what we're now calling primitive skills. And that really took us on a whole trajectory that led us to where we are now. I mean, we have a mission statement like everybody else, but really for me it's how do we express our humanity the most fully. The reason I say that is that, you know, we live in this beautiful planet with all of these exciting experiences to have, and human beings, you know, we've been around for a long time, and yet the way we interact with our landscape, our surroundings, and each other has changed very rapidly recently. And I think that when we practice primitive skills, it opens doorways to the capacities we've developed as human beings over hundreds of thousands of years. And so, as we practice primitive skills, as we play games, as we sing songs, as we connect with each other, it begins to open up these aspects of our humanity, of our humanness. And so I think at its core, that's our mission, is to try to express our innate humanness as fully as possible. So at Laughing Coyote, we run a variety of programs. I would say the core or the heart of what we do is we work with homeschool students. We run homeschool programs for youth and teens where they come out for a series of weeks and they'll learn knife skills, they'll learn fire making, they'll learn archery, they'll learn basket weaving, all sorts of different skills that connect to the landscape. And then also we play what I describe as high octane games. Our version of games is full speed, full evasion, dodgeballs, tagging, chasing, screaming. We also have run summer camps. We run a lot of adult workshops where we really focus deep into specific skills. And then we also run teen expeditions where we'll take teenagers to all different environments such as the deserts of southern Utah or a Caribbean island, and we take these same skills and then translate them to these new environments. So I love working at Laughing Coyote. It's so fun. And it's really hard to pick a favorite part. And that's a funny thing because at the end of each day, we'll often talk about our highlight for the day, and it can be different for me every day. It could be a moment in a game. It could be when we're all coming together, focused, working on skills. It could be accomplishing a big project like completing a shelter together. It could be when we all come together in multi-part harmony singing a song. I would say though that probably the most rewarding thing for me is watching students come back for years and have these skills and the relationships that they've developed become really important to them and something that they express fully in their day-to-day lives. And then when they move on to other things, to still have that strong connection. And so for me to see students we've had go through a process of transformation and go out into the world is really rewarding. One of the reasons I like to work with teenagers is that they're asking these questions, like, who am I going to be when I grow up? which is okay because I'm kind of still asking that question, who am I going to be when I grow up? And so I have this opportunity to think a lot about what advice I would give to someone who's looking at their life, just entering into that point of independence. And so things are changing at the rate where we don't know what's happening. And so one of the things I would say is, don't prepare for what seems to be like the most successful thing now. Like all of my peers all wanted to go to business school so they could make money and be successful. It seems like if they had all gone into tech, that would have been a lot more successful at the time, financially. And so I would say, pursue what you're passionate about. And what's so amazing about this world is that if you pursue what you're passionate about, you can make it work. And sometimes that becomes your career, right? Like that's what happened for me. I was passionate about working with youth. I was passionate about primitive skills. It became a career for me. I also ran into this guy recently who loves archery, but he doesn't want it to become his job because he doesn't want to ever wake up in the morning and think, I don't want to go to work today. So he, on the weekends, like as his hobby, he participates in all these archery events. He teaches kids about archery, all for free. And then he has a landscaping business that he loves. And so he has a job that he is fulfilled by, and then he has his passion that he does the rest of the time. And I think that's another great opportunity. I would say that focusing on doing something well, focusing on being creative, focusing on getting to know this incredible world we live on, to see opportunities, to interact with other cultures. Because, at the end of the day, or at the end of our life, what I've been told when I've talked to older people is, we don't tell stories about all the times we've been comfortable. We don't tell all the stories of the times when we were most successful. We tell the stories of our adventures, of the friendships we had, of the mistakes we made. And so, pursue your passion, because, life is short, but life is also long, right? Like, I don't feel like we have time to waste. Every moment we have is so precious. And yet, there's also no rush to just jump into some sort of settled for experience. So that's what I would say to young people. Have an adventure, develop strong relationships, pursue creativity,